And for everything there is a season, so man and man must reason. So I think it's prime time that we address some more issues. Simple information I will use, no rocket science to get you confused. So relax your mind, make sure everything is fine, while I take you down a poetic line. Trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. I remember you say Liberation Day, and I ask, you sure is that you wanna say? Cause you sounded so good to believe. And deception is a powerful thing when you lose your rightful thinking. So we voted for the bling. But you trick us with campaign promises, we won't say at ease, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Yellow, yellow all the way is what everybody say. Cell phone ring, man answering. Yellow, yellow, no hello. Teeth get yellow, house get yellow, bus get yellow, man get yellow, even green get yellow, and so says 11-4. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Old school parables say you know what you have, but you don't know what you go get. So cherish what you have to diminish regret. But what on earth lasts forever? Not even things created by the great Jehovah. So the green grass ceased to grow to allow the yellow vibes to flow. But boy, one song I sing, one bell I ring. If we didn't know, we'd never know yellow would have treated us so. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. They began with the blame game, giving NNP more fame. Past administration, the cause of frustration. Past administration, chief of corruption. Then to economic recession, we can't give you attention. Economic recession, the cause of poverty in the land. Economic recession, no employment for the ordinary man. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. All your projects are stuck in a pipeline, but when asked, how is the country going? Oh, fine. We are looking into it. Never mind. Only projects in pipeline, no water to cool down the yellow temperature. When will they start? Please answer that. Oh, soon. Maybe by the next full moon. Although things are turning at a very slow pace, we now run no race. 5 years is a lot of space. It's just a few hungry people in another place, and a few disgruntled green people with their vexed face. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Busy governing, busy managing, busy politicking, busy neglecting, busy inflicting poverty and hunger throughout Grenada. 1,000 Frenchmen can never be wrong, but you hold your yellow conviction strong. So why not send them advisors home? They're sucking money like water in foam. And rehire the Imanis, less stress on the economy. You are Manchester, whole of the country. You didn't see us down by the brewery when they send SSU to between. Trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. So we've heard about your internal division, but some can't digest that one. Remember the man say he's an asset to the party? And will we vote you without him? You left him with Glenn alone. Maybe they cloned. And however, I foresee a pretensive unity that will mislead a lot just before the next ballot. But you guys will have to come real good, cause it's a long time Grenada ain't eat a food. You think politicians would? Trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. You remember in the Bible, God had a plan for Jonah to restore Nineveh? But But will restore Grenada? Is it the same Jonah? Lots of doubt, so I'm running up my mouth. And I ain't counting no chicken before the hatch. Politicians sometimes form a crooked batch. After they get the vote, they now sing one note. But here comes Fort Judy and Nancy Payne with $1 million house and brand new car on the scene. While our
and a good night to Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, wherever you are, locally, regionally, internationally. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name is Sheldon Scott. I'll be here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. And of course, you will be able to call in a little later on.
Say enough from Jonah. Here comes still with more pressure and hunger.
We say a very special good night to all of you joining us.
The Congress neglect us.
No matter the means that you're joining us, those of you that are listening via 91.9, 91.5 Real FM, we say a special good night to you all.
Real, we appreciate the free barrel.
Yeah, my good friends at Real FM, Andrea Donald.
January to November, suck salt and drink Nawasa water when you trick us with.
Also saying a special good night to those of you joining us via 94.9 out there in Brooklyn, We Noise Radio. Wade, I ain't from you for the weekend. What man?
Refrain. By the way, what will be your theme for the next campaign? It can never be about change again. And in what language are you going to tell people to vote for NDC? In Japanese or Chinese? You better wrap up.
Let me see who is on the live tonight. I'm saying a special good night. Let me see. Let me go to the YouTube first tonight. And let me see. Magdalene, good night to you. Wendy, Stephanie John, and Natalia John, the home circle. Good night to all of you, your dad. Michelle Alexander, good night to you. Jakeem Williams, sorry, man. Nice, right. Hermina, all right. Marilyn, Eliza, I'm seeing Wilfred, Alan, I'm seeing Sherms. Let me see. Londa, Cousin Coy, what's up? Yeah, Jocelyn, Angie, Clive, Gertrude, Abraham, good night to you. Faithlyn, good night. Deborah Laborde, special good night to you. And Barbara, Christine, Otley, good night to you. Anne-Marie Grant, good night. Let me see, Kathleen, I'm seeing Jacinta, Gavin. Matthew Boyne, my brother out there in Brooklyn, good night to you. Mayana, good night. And I'm seeing Wilfred. I'm seeing Jackie, Kathleen, Cynthia, Alan Jones, good night to you as usual. Lishra Sherma and Shrajan. Yeah, and all the rest of you just joining on the YouTube. A special good night to all of you. Let me see over on Facebook. And hey, Ashley, my God, brother. Good night to you, my brother. Kathy Albert, good night. Doralyn, Everard, Ibrahim, Nakisha, Lynn, Courtney, that's Yvonne, Linda, Imelda Francois, Norma, Cicely, Celestine, Leonard, Mark, Shonel, Gary, Jillian, good night to you. McLean, Charmaine, Maria, Jillian, good night to you. Maudlin, Agnes, Francis, good night, bro. But it's been a while, man? Yeah, I'm seeing the Grenada Watchman. Good night to you watching. That is good. Jill, good night to you. Let me see, Maria, Winnie, Philip, Dominique, Agnes, Ruth, Yolan, Devon, Antonito, Joan, Meryl, I'm seeing you there, David. Right. Rhonda, good night to you, Charmaine. Right, good night to all of you. If I've missed your name, it is not intentional. So a special good night to each and every one of you. And I ain't see she put the message yet, but I know Joyce listening. Joyce, yeah, what do you WhatsApp? Yo, I'm there. A special good night to Matthew. Yeah, Matthew and Patty out there in Canada. A special good night to both of you. And of course to my good friend Ian out there in Canada. I know you're listening, even though he doesn't call. And so, man, I know you're listening, Ian, because sometime you might be listening it a little later on and not live, right? So a special good night to you, Ian, out there in Canada. All our listeners in Canada, North America, yeah. Hey, Mr. Adrian Watts, a good night to you. And a special good night, of course, to Cammy, right? Mommy George, good night to you. I know I ain't passed by you, don't worry. I go pass. Don't worry, all you are good. We go talk about that in a while. But are good. Believe me, I'm good. All right? Nice.
This is not politics. Please don't.
Let me say a special happy May Day. Yes, International Workers' Day. A special May Day to each and every. We are all workers in whichever capacity, yeah? So we are all workers. So we say a special happy May Day to all the workers of the nation. Even Judas Jude, we say a special happy birthday to you, bro.
I don't owe no one.
And I'd also like to thank all of you for the birthday greetings yesterday. In fact, I started getting birthday greetings from Thursday last week. Yes, my birthday was yesterday. I would like to thank all of you for the birthday greetings. Some in person, some message, some call. Yeah, but everyone, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for the birthday greetings. All right? Yeah, it made me feel like a somebody, boy. When you see literally thousands of people just sending messages. Yeah, it crossed into thousands of people that was sending messages, whether they send a message on Facebook and so they send it on Messenger, Sheldon. We don't want to put it on your page because, you know, them people and them watching and we don't want them to know. Yeah, I understand. So they send WhatsApp, they send, yeah. Just thank all of, even when I got in studio and I was checking the WhatsApp in here, there were quite a few messages here as well. I'd like to thank each and every one of you, yeah?
Man must reason.
Norman, good night. Ashley, yes, my good God, brother. Good night to you.
Some misuse. Simple information I will use.
Yeah, I know my voice is a bit heavy. Yeah, I'm still having that problem with my throat.
Make sure everything is.
But we rebuke that. We know what. Yeah, we rebuke that. Yeah, the voice will clear up. Don't worry. Can't stop us from doing the program.
The way it is, we've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain. You now refrain.
So I know my voice sounds a little funny. Yes, I know.
Is that you wanna say? Cause you sounded so good to believe. And deception is a powerful thing when you lose your rightful thinking. So we voted for the bling. But you trick us with campaign promise.
I think we've crossed the magic number. We could begin the conversation, you know. First of all, I know many of you have been calling. Many of you have been concerned about an incident that happened on Thursday night when I completed the program. And then there was another incident on Friday morning, totally unrelated to the first one. There was another incident involving myself on Thursday night and then again on Friday morning. I am fine. I am okay. My children are okay. All right. I need to commend the officers down there at the South St. George police station who immediately dealt with the situation. I could tell you, after I made the call on Thursday night, within 15 minutes they were there. And they did what they had to do, took the report and so on. I will not go into details in relation to either incident. I could say that, yes, definitely. I will state that the one on Thursday night was political. I will not go into details of it. Yes, I was attacked and it was political. I will not go into details of it. And again, on Friday morning, there was another incident which I don't believe to be political. I believe that the individual has mental issues. And I can say that the Royal Grenada Police Force, to their word, did deal with both matters. Yeah, they did deal with both matters. And I am satisfied with the way that they have handled the matters thus far. So that's all I want to say. And I don't want to go into depth. What I will say is this, though. Over the years, there have been many people who have been making statements on social media and other forums. There have been people that have said the worst things about me. Yeah, the worst things. And I'm talking about things that they don't know about me. These are people that I've never met. These are people that have never worked with me in any institution that I've worked with. They've never worked with me. I don't know them. Yeah? They've made the worst statements about me. I have thick skin. I ignore it. Yeah? Generally, I ignore it. Right? I've heard things that I refuse to repeat here about myself that I don't know anything about. Yeah? And you have people who have been out there encouraging violence against people. And they need to stop. And the Prime Minister of this country, the political leader of the National Democratic Congress, needs to speak to his supporters. Mr. Deacon Mitchell, Prime Minister, Member of Parliament for St. David, yeah? Person who is still a CBI agent for the country of Grenada. You need to speak to your supporters. Something like this could never happen under the New National Party, and Dr. Mitchell doesn't try to send out a message to the supporters of the New National Party. He has never encouraged violence. He has never encouraged this sort of thing to attack this person and so on. But we see that others are doing it, And it's being allowed. And you're not hearing, echoing throughout the country right now, from one end to the other. You're not hearing the members, the leadership of the National Democratic Congress coming out and saying, hey, stop that behavior. Don't get on like that. Yeah? It's being encouraged on social media. So you have them having people creating 4, 5, 6, and 7 fake profiles where they say the nastiest, vilest, most disgusting things about people. And it doesn't have to be Asher Lunscott who's on the radio speaking. It could be any of you that are listening to this program or any of you that are following this program online and they see your name. What do? They come and they say the worst things. The worst things about you. They don't know you. But they want to spoil your name out there. But they're coward. You see me? I ain't have no fake profile. None. I don't need no fake profile. What I have to say, I say it to Asher Lunscott. I don't have to hide to say anything about anybody. Yeah? And if anybody thinks that they are going to scare me, they better be the ones who are afraid. No one is going to scare me. No one will endanger the lives of myself and my children and think that it's going to happen just so and they're going to get away with it. Yeah? And again, I'm calling on the political leader of the National Democratic Congress and the leadership of the National Democratic Congress. Speak to your supporters. Speak to them. Because today it might be me, tomorrow it might be somebody else who does not have the level of restraint that I have learned over the years. Speak to your supporters. It is not necessary for this sort of nonsense to be going on. For people to be making all sorts of statements to people and threatening them and this. Talk to your supporters. Speak to them. We cannot encourage this type of behavior in our country. I say what I have to say on this program. Not one of you can prove that anything I've said is not true. None. None of you have been able to prove that what I have said here. And remember, when I say I have said, yes, I'm the person saying it here, but this is a family, this is a team. To the people who are on the chat and the people who send the messages and send the information and so on, none of what we have put out here, be it a contract for Ian Django Thomas and Mr. Patrick Simmons, or be it the documents in relation to the GDB loan at the Grenada Development Bank there, yes, none of it you all could say is untrue. You can't say that when we say the Prime Minister is a CBI agent, also the person who selected the committee for the CBI, because the CBI was directly under his ministry, and then still is registered in the state of Grenada as a CBI agent. And we ask the question, while he is still registered as a CBI agent, is he still operating as a CBI agent? Is he still operating, or the company to which email his name is still attached on the internet right now if you check? Is he still registered and still operating? And if so, how many passports has he been directly involved or indirectly involved through that company between the 23rd of June? Because we know right after the 23rd of June, they started taking Russians again. The announcement was made. You didn't even have a cabinet put together yet, but you had the announcement made and they were starting to take in Russians again. The only country in the OECS who has a CBI program that has been doing that. Until April 1st. That's when it ceased. But I've been checking all of the government gazettes, and if the company has been removed, and if the company that is run by the now finance minister has been removed as a CBI agent, and if the company that it seems is owned and run by Ms. Andrea St. Bernard have been removed, it has to be gazetted. I ain't see it gazetted. And according to official sources, all three seem to be in operation. And we want to know how much money did they earn between June the 23rd and now. Yeah? Say I'm lying. Take me to court. I have no problems with that. Yeah? Take me to court. But speak to your people. If they are intellectually incapable of carrying on a proper conversation in relation to an issue, then they can remain silent on it if they so desire, or they could leave those who know what they're talking about to talk about it. Yeah? I refuse to carry on any and is that conversations. I'm not doing it. Yeah? That you come and you say, well, all you lie and is that. That's an unintellectual. That's a dunce statement to make. Yeah? So if people think that by throwing words or that by actually getting physical, that they're going to scare any of us, they have another thing coming. I mean, from Thursday night right after it happened, I don't know how some people know. Before I could even reach home, could I get a phone call from the first one? Yeah? So I'm saying to the leadership once again, because I want this point to reach home, to the leadership of the National Democratic Congress, and that seems to include Judas Jude too. Because I realize what was supposed to be May Day today ended up being a political rally, as far as I am concerned. That's my view of it. You have your May Day celebration, where workers ought to be celebrating and that kind of thing. I can't tell you how to celebrate and so, but I could have my view in relation to it. And my view in relation to May Day today was that it seems as though they forget government change. So the entire focus has been on the new National Party administration. And it just tells you what is coming from the top. So don't be surprised when you hear Judas Jude come and say what he say. And I won't say much more on him, because the thing is, I don't like to respond to stupidity. First of all, I don't like to respond to stupidity in that way. I like to expose stupidity, but I don't like to respond to stupidity in that way. And secondly, I like to listen things over, take a day or two, relax, ruminate on the issue, and then come and speak on it. So I won't say much more in relation to that, except to say that if your eyes are open and you saw some of the placards that were out today and you listened to that speech and so on, the only thing missing was a set of NDC t-shirts with the heart on it. That was the only thing missing. Because you had the members of cabinet, they were wrong, and so they were there too, So the only thing missing was everybody should have on the NDC t-shirt and done. Yeah? That is my perspective, and nobody can tell me I'm wrong. That's my perspective on what the bits and pieces that I have seen. That's my perspective in relation to what took place, what passed as May Day celebration today. Yeah? Who vexed about it? Well, take it to the Lord in prayer. There's nothing else I could tell you do in relation to that. But again, listen. For years, there are individuals in this country that have said the nastiest things about Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, about various members of the new National Party. They have said the worst, the nastiest, the most disgusting things that any society that has any inkling of a moral compass would have come out and said, no, all you can't be doing that and all you can't be saying that. Yeah? But instead, some portions of the society talk out against it, and some, because of politics, they just stay quiet about it. And they encourage this type of behavior over the years. They've fueled this type of behavior. You see them jumping on the lives, and they jump on a live and they feel they could just come and say any nastiness, and they jump on because people don't. Listen, one of the easiest things to do is find out who is behind all your page. So don't even start to think that it's difficult to find out that. It's not as hard as they make you all think. But they jump behind the fake pages and they jump on. And they come and they say all these nasty things. Yeah? And it's been encouraged. It's been encouraged. Because they know we've been speaking about the CBI and we've been speaking about that and the Williams loan last week. On Thursday, during the program, you saw the start of it. Well, it ended up out by my home. Because you saw them jump under the live with the nastiness. Yeah? So that is the kind of behavior that we ought not as a people to tolerate. So I'm calling, whether it's on the union leadership, who ought to know better, or whether it's on the political leadership of the National Democratic Congress, because I know the political leadership in the new National Party always speaks out against that type of behavior and will never encourage those sorts of behavior. Never. Yeah? Whether they have to call the person in privately or they have to call the person in publicly. I know I've been on a program once years ago. We were in opposition at the point in time, incidentally. And myself and Ian Edwards at the time were doing a program. And I remember we made some not too nice statements about the sitting Prime Minister at the point in time, Mr. Tillman Thomas. Before the statement could have finished, leave we mouth good, I got a call. And the political leader of the New National Party said to me, you can't say that about the Prime Minister of the country. You have to respect the office. And you have to respect the man holding the office. You cannot make those kind of statements. You think Mr. Deacon Mitchell picking up the phone and call them and say stop calling people all kind of nasty names? You think anybody within the NDC, they have advisors for this and advisors for that and so on. You think they're calling anybody and trying to stop them from that nasty and negative behavior, or they're encouraging it? And then they're trying to encourage it, but they want to do it not as the NDC, but as the NDC that's fueling that. And if we don't put a stop to that now, if we don't put a stop to that type of behavior now, there are going to be problems in this place. Yeah? I just thought I'd mention that and I would speak about it. That's the most I'm going to say on it. I said I'm not going to go into details in exactly what happened in either incident, but I'm just going to let you all know that the police have dealt with the matter, and that's as far as I'm going to say on that one for now.
Yet, but have no fear.
Well, the matters, yeah.
Get there. I'm not in this world to live up to your expectation. Neither are you in.
I'm not going to speak much about May Day because I haven't seen all of the speeches and so I can't make a proper assessment. I can tell you what I saw thus far and what I've heard. That seemed to have been a political rally.
No one knows me none, so everything is fine.
They weren't, hey, Manda, sorry about that. Good night to you. Yeah. I didn't hear them addressing workers, but as I said, I probably need to hear the whole thing. So let's hear that and then we're going to talk about that one. Nice?
I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am.
And you all know, I often say to you all that when the National Democratic Congress government is trying to hide information from you, what they do is they release it late on a Friday. Now, they know this was a long weekend, so they know people were in preparation mode, and especially since they got their salaries on Friday, those working within the public sector and so on, they were gone early. Yeah? So they decided that they're going to send out the release, after 3 on Friday afternoon. Now tell me, which newsroom, for those of you that know media in Grenada, which newsroom has anybody that's going to be taking a release from the government of Grenada after 3 o'clock on a Friday to go and try to put in news the night? Which newsroom? For instance, there's this advisory that came out on Friday night. Yeah? Is it Friday night or Thursday? Yeah. Well, Friday is the date I'm seeing on this one. Right? Yeah? The advisory was actually dated Thursday. So it's dated Thursday the 27th. But they sent it out after 3 on Friday. So that tell you that they purposely hold it back. What does that tell you? That they purposely hold back this information, isn't it? Because they want to be able to say that they sent it out, but they don't want you to really know you have it. Right? So it says government launches a comprehensive debt restructuring for the Marketing and National Importing Board. Further to our advisory of March the 27th, that's exactly 1 month before, on the above captioned subject, all unsecured creditors are hereby reminded to submit your claims via email at the following email address: mnibdissolution@gov.gd on or before April 30th. April 30th was yesterday. They sent it out after 3 on Friday to remind you to send something in by yesterday, which was a non-working day. But yet still they set it for the Sunday, isn't it? Nice. Submission of claims will facilitate the timely resolution of these unsecured claims and prevent further protracted delays in receipt of any settlement. The public is reminded that as a direct result of the prolonged poor operational and financial performance of the Marketing and National Importing Board, the Cabinet of Grenada approved the dissolution of the entity, including the assumption of all secured and unsecured liabilities of the MNIB. All right? The shouldering of these responsibilities creates significant additional unforeseen potential debt for the central government. Basically the same words that they used a month ago. They're telling you that they didn't know how much money they would have to pay out. Remember, the Prime Minister came and he said, this is how much money Marketing Board is owing. This is how much we generally going to have to pay the staff. He gave some ballpoint figures and so ballpark figures. Right, not ballpoint, that is a pen. Ballpark figures. Right, remember he came out and he did that. Now all of a sudden, the shouldering of these responsibilities creates significant additional unforeseen potential debt for the government of Grenada. So you're telling me you decided to close down the Marketing and National Importing Board and you did not know how much it's going to cost you to close down the Marketing and National Importing Board. So in other words, you made a decision that was not based on proper information because you're saying you based the decision to close it down based on, as you said, prolonged poor operational and financial performance. So if you know it's been performing poorly financially, you ought to know what the financial standing in relation to the debtors are. And if you're coming to say now it's unforeseen, then what did you make your decision to close the Marketing and National Importing Board on? You're kind of confusing me in one paragraph you're saying something and confusing me in the next one. How could it be unforeseen? The government is therefore seeking to undertake a comprehensive and collaborative restructuring of MNIB debts by the end of May 2023, the end of this month. This includes the repayment or refinancing of those debts on terms and conditions that are consistent with the government's fiscal space. In light of the foregoing, the government is offering 50% haircut. Well, them barbers and them got a problem with that. Anyway, 50% haircut on the outstanding claims to all secured and unsecured creditors. So in other words, they're saying all, and they make sure they put the word all, secured and unsecured. So whether it's 5,000, I continue to say that people, the poor people, who are always being made to suffer by this administration, the poor people should not be asked to take any 50% haircut. Those people who are owed a little 4,000, 5,000, 8,000, anybody under, I would say, 20,000, should not be asked to take a haircut. Leave that for the big ones who are owed 100,000, 200,000, them kind of thing, a million here, whatever. Leave that for them. But the poor people need their money and should not be asked to take any haircut. And they're not saying that they're categorizing it and only a certain category will be asked to take a haircut. They're saying all secured and unsecured creditors. Yeah? The MNIB Board of Directors has provided a list of all outstanding MNIB debts to the Ministry of Finance. During the month of April, the Ministry of Finance will seek to verify all debts owed by the entity. So you could realize that they just take part the release from before and they just try to restructure it, but they forget that this release really is for the month of May. So they're saying what they will be doing in the month of April, which has ended, because they send it out at the end of the work day, the last work day of for the Ministry of Finance, at least for the month of April. But anyway, that's beyond the point. The Ministry of Finance will seek to verify all debts owed by the entity. The Ministry of Finance thanks all relevant stakeholders for their kind cooperation in this regard and look forward to a speedy conclusion of this exercise. Again, I'm calling on the government. I'm doing a lot of calling tonight. I'm calling on the government. Those people who are owed small amounts, as far as I'm concerned, under a certain figure, should not be asked to take any 50% haircut. That's as far as I am concerned. All right? The other release that they decided to send out later again on Friday, because again, Friday, nobody can go pick it up. It's only Sheldon go look for it and go and make confusion, isn't it? Right. The government of Grenada is firmly committed to good fiscal governance and accordingly sought technical assistance from the International Monetary Fund, I thought they said they didn't bother with them, to help strengthen Grenada's fiscal responsibility regime. To this end, an IMF team conducted a mission to Grenada over the period 11th to the 25th of April to review the Fiscal Responsibility Act. Yeah. The objective of the mission was to make recommendations to simplify the legislative requirements of the Fiscal Responsibility Act, clarify extent ambiguities, introduce flexibility, and ensure consistency with other financial legislations. All right? In other words, what they are trying to do is rewrite the Fiscal Responsibility Act. Now, the Fiscal Responsibility Act restricts government in relation to their spending. Yeah? So that they can't spend over a certain amount. And you have to maintain a specific GDP and all of that in relation to your spending and all of that. So this government wants to revisit that Fiscal Responsibility Act and change it. But why wouldn't you say that earlier? And remember, they're saying that these people were here since the 11th to the 25th of April. They wait until the last working day of April after 3 to send out that release. Because they just don't want you all to know what is going on in our country. Yeah? They just don't want you all to know what is going on in our country. All right? Nice. Let's take a little piece here. Nice.
This is not politics. Please don't forget. I'm just practicing to be a poet. Not qualified as yet, but have no fear. I'm gonna get...
And I'll say this as well. I honestly believe that at the end of this NDC administration that's in power now, many organizations that were very garrulous, vociferous, talkative, yeah, very noisy during the period of the new National Party administration will no longer be taken seriously by thinking Grenadians. Because if a situation as has come up in relation to that loan by Andy Williams that we have showed, we have informed, we have given you the information to show that this is illegal, this is wrong, and these people remain quiet because even some of the media entities don't realize that they're setting themselves up to be in a position when nobody takes them seriously anymore. Yeah? They're setting themselves up into a position when nobody will be taking certain media entities in Grenada serious anymore. You're telling me, if you're looking to GBN News, good night to you, Dr. Panchu. Yeah, you're telling me, for instance, that every night you look at television on GBN, you can see Minister Williams, live interview. If he go in St. Patrick, they go in with him. He go in St. Mark, they go in with him. He go in Carriacou, they go in with him. Everywhere he's going, it seems as though he has a contract with GBN. So they're following him wherever he's going. And you telling me, with all that close contact to him, that up to now, not a single reporter in GBN can ask him a question about the GDB loan? Something that Grenadians are interested, according to our friend of the chatters on the street? You telling me every night they can find him every single day? Yeah? If he's going to joke a hole up in Northwest St. George with a piece of stick, if he's going to joke that, they could find him. If he go in and watch them break down the church in Grenville, GBN can find him. Yeah? If he cleaning a drain in the south, GBN can find him. But yet still, not a single news broadcast has had the guts. You know, people that say they had the guts and the belly and thing, right? None of them have had the guts or the belly to ask him a question in relation to that. Don't you all find that kind of strange? That's why I'm saying, when this term of the NDC is ended, there will be certain individuals and organizations that have lost all credibility in the eyes of the Grenadian people. All. Yeah? That's why I told the one that I told on Friday to her face, she's a hypocrite. Because I'm not going to have no direct personal, when they were saying things about people who were saying it in public, I ain't going to have no personal conversation. You didn't want to find people like me back then to ask a question. You just went and you wrote your articles and you said what you had to say. And Miss Ferguson? You wrote your articles and you went and said what you had to say publicly. You never even tried to find me and ask a question. So I ain't having no private conversation with you on it. You're a hypocrite. Because now I ain't seen you talking about Andy Williams. I ain't seen you talking about the fact that the Prime Minister is a CBI agent. You have lost all credibility to talk on any issue as far as I'm concerned. And there are many others who were so-called civil society that make noise for the simplest things, anything they could make noise on during the period of the new National Party, but their mouth shut now. Even when it comes to the unions. And I don't want to say much because, as I said, I didn't hear all the speeches today. I hear part of one speech. About 20 people sent it to me. So I hear part of one speech today. Just proves to me that he listens to this program. So we hope that over a period of time, that he would open his mind. Yeah, Judas Jude, we hope that you would open your mind and allow yourself to be properly educated as an educator in relation to what the reality in Grenada is right now. You have situations. I went into town on Friday. The vendors around town told me they've been informed that as of tomorrow morning, they can no longer vend in town. I know most people are for that. But the thing is, it's the kind of ad hoc and rushed way things are done. In that, what is the arrangement for them? Where is their space in the market? These are people that is how they're taking care of the bills. That's how they're taking care of things. So while, yes, everyone can say, well, we want the streets to be free so everybody could walk and so on in town. Yes, we understand that. We all agree that that move has to take place. But again, it's just the rush thing. Just rushing everything. And then you expect people to say nothing about it. You expect people to hush. You expect people... I listened to an interview with the Minister of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation. I listened to him. And he's basically saying, oh, people just talking these things and them to throw you off. What you really should be talking about is how we can develop the country. Why can't we have both conversations? Why can't we have the conversations in relation to the reality, the truth of what is going on when it comes to that GDP loan and still have the conversation about the development of Grenada? Why can't we have both conversations? If we are intelligent enough and we believe that we're smart enough, we can have both conversations. But it seems as though they don't want you having certain conversations. So don't look for post-cabinet press briefings. Don't look for them. You realize they stop again. And then they try to do these media things that are totally choreographed, that people can't come out and say anything. Totally choreographed. Last minute, we're having a press conference. Last minute. Yeah? Throwing out all of these things. So these are the things that they don't want you talking about. They don't want you talking about these things. And they want you to be afraid to speak about these things by saying it again. Because I want the message to reach home to them. I ain't afraid all you. I ain't afraid one all you. I ain't afraid all you. I ain't afraid none all you. Yeah? Just want the message to get home. Because if all you think, over the last 2 weeks, I've been saying some things on this program, you all have no idea what's coming during the month of May for you all. Yeah? I'm putting you all on notice. You all have no idea. If all you think wrong envelope might be wrong box and crate. Yeah? You all have no idea what's coming in the month of May. I'm saying it as it is. In fact, you know what? Let's hear the one program that Mr. Andy Williams appeared on. Yeah? The one program that he appeared on was the Bob Report yesterday. And at the end of the interview, Dr. Kellon Bob, and we are giving credit for the footage that we're about to use and that we're about to play to Dr. Kellon Bob and the Bob Report. We like to make sure we give the proper credit to whoever did what was done, right? Did do what a lot of other people in the journalism field in Grenada seem to be afraid to do. And you know what? In some instances, I'm not blaming the little journalists who have to go out and do the story, you know. I'm blaming who in charge of them. Because it's who in charge of them. If they really believe in news being open and they understand the concept of being a journalist, they would ensure that when the journalists go out, that those questions are asked. And they would not restrict those journalists from going out and asking the question. I know I'm saying, no. They would not restrict those journalists from asking certain questions. Because Dr. Bob did what it seems as though companies like GBN, who seem to be now GBN/GIS, are doing. He did what they refused to do. All right, so let's hear a bit. Let me see if I could get it queued here. Let's hear a bit of what Minister Williams had to say in relation to that loan. So let me see if I could just pull that up here.
Now, Minister Williams, before I get to some closing comments, there is a contemporary issue that we have to address. You're not going to come on the Bob Report and expect not to address those. But give us the leader of the opposition, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, surrogates of the New National Party, have expressed concern about a loan that you received from the Grenada Development Bank. They're saying that it is a glaring conflict of interest that you should be receiving a loan from a state-owned entity, a loan that loans that are usually disbursed for development purposes. What is the reality there where that's concerned? Now, the New Today, who I believe was the first newspaper publication in Grenada to address this. No other media entity has really addressed this, and now we're going to address this on the Bob Report. In the New Today report, it says that according to you, they're quoting you, they said that you approached the bank for the loan before the election and that it only materialized after the election. There are also conflicting reports around the quantity of monies that were received. What is the reality here, Minister?
So let me just say this, Kelon. Now, I have been a customer of the bank for about 5-6 years. If you remember in 2017, I had a fire where everything got destroyed, right? And it was the Grenada Development Bank that assisted me somewhat in that way. So I've been a customer of the bank for 5-6 years now. And, yes, I approached them before the elections and so, and it's all had to do with business, right? And, and listen, let me just say this, that I'm someone who believes that the truth will come out. And when people try to extort the truth and to make all kinds of things about it, I just stay quiet. So if you notice, I was really and truly quiet about the whole matter.
Well, except with not with the New Today newspaper. The New Today newspaper reported on this, so I'm not too sure you were quiet on this. Go ahead, Mr. Williams. Go ahead. Go ahead, Honorable. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just trying to answer your question, right? No, the only thing that was a gentleman once, he picked up the phone, and in a casual conversation, he asked me a question, and I answered him, and he took that and he put it out, and that's what.
Mr. Worm.
That was the only case where.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, ask him the question. Just, all right. So, and that was the only statement that was made from my part, not giving that person the permission to send it out, but they went ahead and sent it out, right? So that's it on the whole case with the Grenada Development Bank. And
Just pull back up, yeah. So you've heard him speaking in relation to the loan. Or didn't you hear him speaking? Because as far as I'm concerned, he hasn't answered the question. Mr. Andy Williams has not been able to say that we've lied. He had the opportunity right there and then to come out and say that we have lied on him. That the quantum of 2,060,423 or 28, whatever it is, and 77 cents. He had the opportunity there and then to say that what we have been saying is a total lie. Yeah? He made the statement there as well that he basically didn't give any information to the individual. Remember, and I'm going to pull that clip and play it for you tomorrow. Remember, when that happened, what I told you all, that Mr. George Rome don't like him, and he don't understand that Mr. George Rome don't like him. So now he come out and he admitting that what he was having was a private conversation with Mr. George Worm, and Mr. George Worm just take it and put it in the newspapers. That is what he said. That is not what I say. That is what Mr. Andy Williams is saying. That he didn't, in other words, he didn't give the man any information to put out in the public, in the media. But the man called him, he had a private conversation with him, and he take the information and put it out. But there's another individual who has been showing documents and saying, I ain't talking about me, eh? There's another individual who has been showing documents. So where they get those documents from? Because those are the actual bank documents. So where they got it from? The GDB or they got it from Mr. Williams himself? Yeah? Because on George Worm, we're hearing about 600,000. On this program, you're hearing about 2 million. And on the next program, you're hearing about 300,000 so and 300,000 so under the MSME program that we know. While it was announced in the budget at the end of 2021 for 2022, that was operationalized after the NDC came into office. Yeah? So in other words, the board that would have okayed that loan was not appointed by the new National Party, and Andy Williams, Deacon Mitchell, and the whole NDC cabinet cannot say that we lie. They cannot say it. The board that approved that loan was not the board appointed by the new National Party. In fact, the board of directors that was appointed under the NNP could have done nothing of the sort between the 23rd of June and even a little before that when government was dissolved. But from the 23rd of June going all the way down to August when a new board was constituted, that board of directors that was there for the GDB could not have okayed that loan. So you tell me the okay alone between June after the election, that even before the loan was okayed and disbursed in December? Come on, man, who are you taking for fool? Serious. Who are you taking for fool? So they have not been able to dispute a single thing we have said on this program. Not a single thing. They have not been able to say that we lie. In fact, if you look at the longer version of that piece, I do have the longer version, but I don't have it queued up. The longer version of that piece is they take the conversation out from the GDB loan and they bring it down in the Saharan Africa, and then they take it out from there and they go up to Morocco, and then they take it from there and they reach in Australia. They even make a pass in the Gobi Desert up in Asia. Yeah? They go all around with the story. But they cannot answer the question. Yeah? They cannot say what is the true situation. We have shown you the documents. Well, some of the documents that we have. We ain't show all, you know. We saw some of the documents. We've shown you dated March 2023. And if we are putting out documents that are false, they know what to do. If we are making statements that are false, they know what to do. They know where to go. If they don't know, go on Lucas Street. You must find a lawyer somewhere there. It's a lot. Just walk around. You go find lawyers for so. Yeah, go on Lucas Street. You must find one. Or go around by the courthouse and walk a little. Yeah. Plus all your lawyers inside. All they can do case and thing. Nobody could direct call it to somebody else, right? Even on Scott Street. Yes, Scott Street, they have lawyers there too. Right? But at the end of the day, you've heard what he said, and he has not been able to dispute anything that we've said. So why are you all so upset, NDCites? Why are you all so flustered? We've proven to you that it is illegal, and let's pull that up for you again. We've proven to you that it is illegal for members of parliament to receive loans out of the GDB, according to the GDB Act itself. Yeah? So, remember here, the bank shall not make subloans out of the proceeds of the loan to a director of the bank, so directors can't get loans, to a member of the legislature of the state of Grenada, so the members of parliament in both houses, right? Or to any company controlled by such a director, so like A&D, right? Or a member of the legislature, right? Or to the close relatives. So in other words, a minister can send his wife or her husband to take a loan on their behalf, right? Or they can't sell their children, or their brother, or their sister, or their mother, or their father. That's close relatives. You can't send them, all right, to take a loan in the GDB. They're not supposed to. Yeah? So the directors can't do it. The members of the legislature cannot do it. Have we lied? Have we said something that's not true? Is this not in black and white and easily findable? Cannot any member of the Grenadian public go on laws.gov.gd and search for the Grenada Development Bank Act and see this contained in it in the schedules at the end? We haven't lied on anybody. We are simply stating what is the truth. So when we say that members of the ruling party right now, in breach of the Integrity and Public Life Act, have companies that are still registered, have companies that are still registered as CBI agents, have we lied? Have we lied when we say that the Prime Minister, his company that he's associated with is still registered, that the name Deacon at michelsco.com is still up to tonight registered as a CBI agent in the state of Grenada? Are we lying? Did we lie when we said that? Yeah? And let me show you the other ones. Yeah? That you have. No, let me get it here. I'm trying to find that one. Let me get it here. All right. Oh boy. It seems as though I've misplaced that particular one. Right? Yeah. I think I've got it now. Yeah. Have we lied when we said that the present Minister of Finance has a company that is still a registered CBI agent here in Grenada? Let me take you all back a number of years. When, and I can use this example. Yeah? I can use this example. When Mr. Lawrence Joseph was the president of the Senate, right? And he's part of a law firm with his wife. And that law firm was registered as a CBI agent. And he had to remove himself. Yeah? He ended up having to remove himself, even though he wasn't a sitting cabinet minister or anything like that. And had nothing to do with it. He understood the Integrity in Public Life Act that he had himself removed. Yeah? And the dunce arguments that they always come with is that NNP did worse. Name me one cabinet minister in the new National Party that operated as a local agent for the CBI. Name, and let me ask a question that may seem weird in asking it. Name one prime minister under the new National Party that operated as a CBI agent. One. Yeah? Name one. They can't. They have to stay silent on that one. They cannot. Because they know that while they are guilty of this, oh, NNP did worse, NNP did worse. Is that an excuse? Is that an excuse? If you've campaigned for many years, you've spent 2 terms in the wilderness, the political wilderness in the state of Grenada. You've campaigned throughout that entire time to get into office based on a promise to the Grenadian people that the things that you were accusing the new National Party of, you would not do. That is what you campaigned on. You told people that you would do better than what you were accusing the new National Party of. And now you come and doing even worse than what you accused the new National Party of. It is fundamentally wrong. And just admit it. Stop trying to defend it by saying NNP did the same thing and NNP do this and NNP do. Stop that. And someone is asking me, why did they see the term the agricultural bank? The agricultural bank is the same GDB. It is what was initially That is what the name of the bank was initially. But this schedule was carried over when it was changed from the Agricultural Bank into the Grenada Development Bank. That's why if you look at the logo is constructed in the way that it is because originally it was the Agricultural Bank. All right? Yeah. So you can't campaign. Tell people that you're going to do better. That you're not going to do the same as the other group of people. And then when you get the opportunity, you're doing worse. The first thing you come in, you go, you take a raise within 6 weeks. After I say all kind of thing about NNP ministers and so, within 6 weeks, are coming into office. Not even 2 months. Within 6 weeks, you rush and take an increase of $24,000 a year. You rush and take it. Yeah? Within under 10 months, you take away $150 from the poor and vulnerable in the country. Remember, you gave yourself a $24,000 increase, but you take away $150 from the poor people of the country. Yeah? After your own political leader was out there saying that the amount of money that's being given under the program should be increased to $650 so that people would not fall into the bracket of being poor. So that if NNP really cared, they would raise it to $650. And any come and took out the $150. All you believe me, never played for all. You know, some all let us play like all you didn't hear. All you can't hear. So let me dip. Let me get some clips there. I must find it, man. Yeah, let me see. Damn. I'm looking for it here. Because I think it's necessary for me to play that for you all. Yeah?
So much people complaining about the government. I wonder why they complaining when it's only 1 year they spent. They come in and complain to me, which I find strange, because the election victory, majority voted for change. So then I start to wonder, what is some of them seen? Why complain to this fella when they know my color is green? It seems like they don't have patience. That's the reason why. Or something pricking the conscience. They just cannot satisfy. Don't blame me. Don't complain to me. Why complain to me? Change you wanted to see. Oh, don't blame me. Don't complain to me. Why complain to me? Change you wanted to see. 13 years we in power. You was in opposition. You won with your propaganda. I really thought you had a plan. You are built.
Yes, indeed, huh?
Push promise in the head. If they only.
Yeah, but let's hear what they had to say when they were in opposition about seed. Yeah, let's hear what they had to say.
Right now,
So let me zero in. You have a seed program. The World Bank says if you're making $650 or less, you're poor. Yet still, the seed program is only paying you $350 and $450. They are aware of the World Bank report. Why then raise the seed program to $650 or more? So if they were interested in truly alleviating poverty or truly helping you, they would raise the figure to $650 or more. So I'm saying to all of the persons who are genuinely on the seed program, particularly our older citizens, who would have worked to help build Grenada, the seed program should be for you, for people who are differently able, for elder citizens.
Yes, indeed. And folks, the phone lines are open, 440-7377. That's 440-7377. You can call us via WhatsApp. You can call us directly. And also, for those of you outside of Grenada, you can call us on 347-329-3101. All right? Yeah, you can call us.
ooh, yeah.
So we're opening the phone lines.
I am stuck between a rock and a hard place in this modern time. God gave us a gift, we burn and we cranium, still He gave us a mind. Think about positive endeavors to make we life rise up. But some people that I know thinking so low, they burn living in the dust because they would see it on the name of a brother with malice intention, when instead they could be uplifting a sister for life progression. It is so hard. Now when a man turn a big man and still didn't grow. But the reason they procrastinate and gossip is because their mind is poor. So I say poor mind will gossip. Illiteracy, simple mind, talk about places that they could never be. Ordinary mind, talk about events and personalities, but wouldn't mind speak about ideas, and great mind speaks philosophy. The mind is such a spiritual force, will make you.
Yeah, I'm just doing some housekeeping matters in the back here.
My friends, you are in control, so there's no reason to fight. I know you heard this before. Life is.
And we've got a caller online. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Sherland Scott. How
Hi,
are you doing, sir?
I'm quite fine. How are you doing tonight?
And good night to the Grenadian people. I just wake up. But you just play a clip there. But what do Mr. Dick Mitchell? He just say that they should give the people the $600 and the stick program. And then you still take out the 150. But who that man fooling? Who you want to fool in Grenada? Hey, I don't understand. I don't understand this people and them, Lord. You just say to take out and die for the poor people that help build this country. Where you should have given them more, you take out 150. And people like, and so much of people they run in the mouth. They can't even saying about handout. When they see you, they throw in all kind of words. I wonder if he doesn't listen to the program of the statements he made when he was campaigning.
They do listen.
I said that liars. Look at the one with Kellen Bobby, the report. The man don't answer the question, you know. He can't answer the question when the man asked him about the money he borrowed. He said to fumble. What kind of people we have running this country, lad? What kind of ministers? And they give them honorable and they can't answer simple questions. And Mr. Andy had to say, yes, I borrowed that amount of money. Hey, are you confusing people in this country? What kind of example you think for the young people, the young students that in some city and they're going to school and going to university? What are you telling them? Hey, I don't know what this is that I'm going to resign. And one thing I have to say before I put on the phone. Mr. Scott,
Yes, ma'am.
yesterday I passed on a new road that under the NNC government and Ron Red, they want to take that credit. Nice job done. Nice work. I passed there yesterday. I don't understand what is going on in Grenada. And you have some people they don't have no respect for Dr. Mitchell. They have no respect for Mr. David and the rest of ministers under the NNC that work so hard. They work so hard. And you all want to take all the credit. I know Peter David go all over the world when he was the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And that man, whenever he come back, he could say what he gets wherever country he went. And he could come back and say, look, I bring back that. Are you going and you come back and say you get $1? And you have no respect for these men and them that work so hard under the NNC government. Shame on y'all. Shame. Shame on y'all. No respect for Dr. Mitchell. Give the man what you give. None of y'all have respect for that man. All this hard work. I only costing him. You have a man on radio calling people all names. And I won't tell a man nothing. One of these days he go expose all the weight. When you get mad and he can't get for you to get, you go expose all you call all kind of things. It's just time. But people say time longer than fine. Just a matter of time. Good night to Dr. Mitchell and the host, Mr. and Ben Hartford. Good night to you all. Tell them good night. I can have host.
Okay, but you realize me as well.
Yes.
All
I
right,
went
Kelly.
on the beach and how's your body?
It was nice and quiet during the day, and then I went to an event in Quarantine Point
I
last
want you
night.
to be very careful.
Yes, I
So
shall
let
be.
it continue on to do this. Continue praying, Mr. Scott. God is good. They don't want you to stop. They don't want you to stop when you get wrong envelope and you're exposing them.
Oh,
They
they're
want
more on
to
the
shut you up.
way.
But God is able. Yeah. Have a good night and good night to everybody.
All right, my
I
dear.
lie down. Hold your lie down.
All right.
Good night.
Good
Yes.
night. Oh boy, I'm trying to answer a call on the other line. Let me see if I get it. Let me see if I have it here.
Hello.
Yes, I think we've got a caller on the line. Good night. Hello.
Hey, Sheldon. Good night.
Good night, brother.
Yes, good night.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
All right, go right ahead. All right.
Sheldon, wonderful program, right? But Sheldon, your talk show, we need to beef up this thing. Go out with the public parliament as what we used to do in 2008. We need to start back doing those things. People who don't listen to this program, you bring out the system in the community and you expose these things on them, because the news is not bringing it out. Don't expect the news to bring it out. So you go on the streets and you beef up these things. You give all the information publicly, because number one, they cannot say that we lie. They cannot say the information you bringing out, they are lies. So we need to bring out the program on the street and bring it like we have a public meeting, like on a Sunday, like a rally or something, or a night meeting, and we in even service one station self, we bring it on it live. So people who are into it, they can hear it live, and people who is in the various community, they can hear it through this system. We need to beef up the People's Parliament back again and make it more effectively. That's all I have to say about that tonight, Ceylon.
All right, my brother. Thank you for your call. Yes, indeed. 4407377. Who was calling on the local line? I'm sorry, I had mistakenly engaged the line. So give us a call back. And those of you that were calling on the WhatsApp, you can call back right now. 4407377 and 347-329-3101. Those are the numbers you can call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. Nice? All right.
Ooh, yeah. I am stuck between a rock and a hard place in this modern time. God gave us a gift, we burn and we cranium, still He gave us a mind. Think about.
And we have a call online. Good night.
Good night, Sheldon.
Hi, good night. How are you?
I'm fine. Glad to hear you. Glad to see you.
All right. You go right ahead, though. You're live.
Sheldon, we as Grenadians have to realize and understand that Deacon Mitchell don't like Grenadians. When you look at all the representing all the different people against the poor and vulnerable people in Grenada here, the hotel, SGU, even WRB, that is a sign to show he don't like us. He don't like us, and he like foreigners. You are the foreigners more than us. He don't have regard for Grenadians. And that clip you played about the seed money, I have it on my phone too, where he's saying that he's with money, give us the money, taxpayers' money, and we deserve a lot of money. But when he come into power now, he deserve a lot of money. He and he rest of like the big dog with the puppies. He and his 14 children, they want to deserve the money. We don't deserve the money. So he take it away from us. You understand? He don't like Grenadians. And I find we shouldn't be calling people like Andy Williams and them honorable. What is honorable about Andy Williams? Do you think honorable about him? When you think about the history before, with all the bong check and all the fraudulent behavior before, and he's still doing the same thing now, what is honorable about that? I find the word honorable to go to people that deserve it, that work for it, that showing the people that they deserve the honor. The honorable supposed to come about people that honest, truthful, the people that frauding and do that kind of wrong thing. Honorable what? Minister Andy Williams supposed to call it not honorable. To call the honorable from that. It's offensive to me. I'll get offended over that. Even Deacon, to call the honorable and Deacon, his name is Prime Minister Dick and Mitchell. No honorable to call the honorable there. They don't want no honor to get no honorable to their name. That's offensive to us Grenadians to who seeing things for what it is. What is honorable about them? They thief the line, they can't tell the honorable. That means we encouraging wrong there. We encouraging wrong in Grenada, yeah? No honorable to their name, they work for the honorable. They work for that.
All right, my
Anyway,
dear.
that's my point.
All right, my dear. 4407377. That's the number for you to get onto the. Okay, and we're on to. Hello, good night.
Hello, good night.
Good night, sir. Hey, what go, boy?
Yeah, buddy.
All right.
Yeah, man. How you doing?
I'm quite fine.
All right. Good night, Talking Points family. Yeah, Shalom. There's a lot I want to talk about, but I will just pinpoint about 3. Yeah? The media celebrations today. I happen to look for some of the lives that would be. I look for the unions. And lo and behold, I've been only seeing one union pronouncedly being documented. And by ministers, not by news houses. The placards was documented by ministers. What does that tell you? A second thing I saw with that particular union, and nothing wrong with that, there was a lot of people in that union march that was not teachers, not even people in the teaching profession. So they rent a crowd. Look at that very closely. Secondly, this government seems to be on a distraction method. The Prime Minister left and go and do a trip in Dubai. You see what's been happening in Karakou. You hear which business or which entity they want to sell. You want to bet what happened in Karakou I ain't blaming anybody. Accidents do happen, things happen. But that's how I had to think. I had to see things far. The man was on an island. Thing happened in Karakou. You see about none of them go there. As if any one of them is an engineer. Not one is an engineer. But yet you're here on Saturday morning or Sunday, well, thanks to this minister and thanks to that minister, like if that minister does whole spanner and whole wire and meters, right? Thirdly, the member of parliament for South Ghanans, that area down there, I listened to this man interview with Bob. Even mistake Bob name. When somebody cannot remember somebody's name in a discussion, it means they are lying, right? Plain talk, bad manners shall learn. You're not supposed to get $1 from GDP if you are a government minister. These guys were sworn in somewhere in July. So from then go back to December. If you, for some reason, happen to get a loan from GDP, be it $2, be it $3, be it $5, you're not supposed to be accessed it. You was not minister for the last 6 years. Right? So who's saying he's a Grenadian? Yes, he's a Grenadian. But when you're reaching the halls of power and you have certain things that you're supposed to be in charge of and you make laws, what this man is doing is calling insider trading. And if you don't take part and listen very carefully to what he's saying, we go end up in problem. They're attacking you, they might attack me. This has never happened under the NMP for the last 9, 10 years or any time under the NMP. This is the first time I ever hear a radio personality or somebody get attacked in this manner. And they do it on Facebook. They do it when they see a pass. They call it all kinds of names. My profile name is my profile name on Facebook, on YouTube, everywhere. So I'm seeing people and I'm seeing the actions. I'm saying, Grenadians, be aware. And Honorable Deacon Mitchell, Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell, talk to your people, talk to your supporters. Because trust me, I've been hearing your more peace. I don't know if you're paying this person saying that if you have a wife and you vote for NMP, show them what it was. If you have a child and you vote for NMP, show them what it was. This violence thing was there for a while. It is not now. What happened now, it only cultivated more. And it's been festered into a freaking beast that we can't deal with. Mr. Scott, I'm begging you to please again ask for peace. Because I will say it clearly and very loudly and boldly on this particular program. If any one of them try what they try with you Thursday night, Friday morning with me, I will not be so diplomatic with my response. I'll be very swift and very, very lawful with my response. Have a good night, children.
All right, thank you so very much, caller. What I would say is use common sense and reasoning. That is all I'm going to say. Use common sense and reason. If I did not use reasoning, the story would be a totally different one today. All right? Common sense and reasoning. 440. Let me just clear the box. 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get on to the inside. And we have a call online. Good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, we're live, caller. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I support the two last callers where they call, the two callers will call before by whatever they say. I support that.
Okay, no problem, my brother.
Yeah, we have to go on the street. We have to go on the street and come and see what they're doing directly, what is bad.
Mm-hmm. All right. No problem. All right, that's it, caller? Yeah, it seems as though that's it for the caller. 440-7377. That's the number for you to call. You can call us directly. You can call us via WhatsApp. And those of you outside of Grenada, yes, our good friends listening out there in Brooklyn, yeah, we say a special good night to all of you. Those of you in Florida, Washington, D.C., California, North Carolina, we say a special good night to you. My friends out there in Arizona, good night to all, each and every one of you. All right? Yes, indeed. And folks, you know, again, when I speak about them always rushing to do things, and please, I would wish that you all they are sending their people onto the live because they're trying to twist the discussion in the direction that they want it. It shows desperation because we know that the NDC has people who are paid to go on the specific live and say things and create distractions. Don't allow them to distract you, all right? Those who are jumping under the live and making their statements, they are incapable of refuting anything that we have said tonight, that we have said the last program or the program before that or any other programs that we do. They are unable to refute anything that we have said. Look, I'll play it again. The minister got the opportunity, you know. He got the whole opportunity to go and refute anything that we've been saying. This is what he did instead.
Now, Minister Williams, before I get to some closing comments, there is a contemporary issue that we have to address. You're not going to come on the Bob Report and expect not to address those. But give us the leader of the opposition, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, surrogates of the New National Party, have expressed concern about a loan that you received from the Grenada Development Bank. They're saying that it is a glaring conflict of interest that you should be receiving a loan from a state-owned entity, a loan that loans that are usually disbursed for development purposes. What is the reality there where that's concerned? Now, the New Today, who I believe was the first newspaper publication in Grenada to address this. No other media entity has really addressed this, and now we're going to address this on the Bob Report. In the New Today report, it says that according to you, they're quoting you, they said that you approached the bank for the loan before the election and that it only materialized after the election. There are also conflicting reports around the quantity of monies that were received. What is the reality here, Minister?
So let me just say this, Kelon. Now, I have been a customer of the bank for about 5-6 years. If you remember in 2017, you know, I had a fire where everything got destroyed, right? And it was the Grenada Development Bank that assisted me somewhat in that way. So I've been a customer of the bank for 5-6 years now. And, yes, I approached them before the elections and so. And it's all had to do with business, right? And, and listen, let me just say this, that I'm someone who believes that the truth will come out. And when people try to extort the truth and to make all kinds of things about it, I just stay quiet. So if you notice, I was really and truly quiet about the whole matter.
Well, except with not with the New Today newspaper. The New Today newspaper reported on this, so I'm not too sure you were quiet on this. Go ahead, go ahead, Mr. Williams. Go ahead. Go ahead, Honorable. Go ahead.
I'm just trying to answer your question, right? No, a gentleman. The only thing that was a gentleman once, he picked up the phone, and in a casual conversation, he asked me a question, and I answered him, and he took that and he put it out, and
That's Mr. Worm.
that was the only
You don't want to say who
case
it
where.
is, Mr. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, ask him the question. Just I. So, and that was the only statement that was made from my part, not giving that person the permission to send it out, but they went ahead and sent it out, right? So that's it on the whole case with the Grenada Development Bank. And
yes, folks. So again, as I said, we have our documents. We've put the documents out. This one is speaking to $2,060,423.77. Yeah, we have put the documents out there. These are documents that if you want, you could go and get it. Yeah, you just have to know the way to go. You understand? Or sometimes you have to wait for a wrong envelope. But sometimes you go and you just get the document for yourself. You understand? And let me make sure you all understand the date on the documents that we are showing you, right, is March 2023. All right? The new National Party was not in office at that time. Yeah, the new National Party was not in office in March of 2023. If you say 2022, then the new National Party was in office, but the new National Party was not in office then, right? So when they're giving all the talk and they're talking about this and that, right? We know. And there are other documents, and as I said, there are other documents. We have other documents. There are other documents, right, that speak to the loan. So when they say the truth would come out, the truth has already been out for quite a while now. It's just for them to admit that the truth is out. Yeah, it's just for them to admit that the truth is out. And I was speaking earlier about them always rushing to do things. And again, it goes back to the Allied Healthcare Professionals Act and the regulations that have now been passed in relation to that, right? And the rush that they, look, you're basically saying to our barbers, you're saying to our hairdressers and so on, that they have to find, let's say, even if it's about $2,000 to $3,000, possibly, in some instances, they're going to have to find that per person to go and get themselves registered and so on. So the guy who has, and most of the barbers in Grenada, this is the situation with them, they have not been to a barber school. I don't know of any barbering school, right? So most of them have not been to a school of barbering. They start cutting here, the friends in secondary school or even primary school or whatever, and they learn the craft and then they cut here. All right? So they don't have a certificate, but you're asking to qualify them, to register them that they must have a certificate. So then you're asking them to pay through the National Training Agency to obtain a CVQ. You're asking them to do that through there. And it's going to cost them significant amounts of money. We have a caller online. Hello? Hello?
Me again. Just one. Yeah, as we talk about health there, Sheldon, I was with some guys, I wouldn't say where, but somewhere in Victoria, and we was talking, a few of them was NDC, and we had a reason discussion pertaining about health. And one of the conversation that the guy talked about, it was the health hospital facility at Guelph. And mind you, the guy who I was speaking bring up that he said he's a hardliner of our NDC. And he said, look, we need to speak out about that health center in Guelph, the hospital. And he said, we have to talk about that because open at night, 24 hours, because what really happened, if anybody gets some accident or some kind of thing, some sickness or whatever, they had to rush all the way down to because the facility closed at night when it's supposed to be open. And I was just giving him a few details about it. Look, how many beds and thing he have, the maternity wards and all this kind of a thing he have. That facility, so and I said that is the purpose of the facility. And we had a very decent conversation. Not to say we caused decent thing of that agree, we disagree, and we had a healthy discussion. So one of the issue I really wanted to talk about, if it's not tonight, continue, maybe tomorrow night. Let us talk about that facility at This is a concern issue for the people on the West, because that was it before. So let us use it, right? Because if somebody, God forbid, if somebody meet up in accident, somebody gets sick or whatever, they have to run down to by the time they sick, based on the sickness, they reach down there. So we have proper issues we have to deal with. This is not about politics here, but this is about national issues and national concern. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so very much, caller. 4407377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside. It's now 29 minutes after the hour of 9 o'clock on the Spice Isle of Grenada, taking you up until the 10 o'clock hour. Yeah, and all you know, every couple months we make little improvements and so. So I'm working on some other improvements. We should be having a guest or two in with us this week. Not necessarily in studio, but we will be having a guest or two on with us during this week. I'll be sending some more information out in relation to who they are and so on over the next couple of days, all right? To let you know exactly, because I'm hoping on Thursday we can have a guest on with us. So I will let you all know between tomorrow and Wednesday who our guest is on Thursday, all right? 4407377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside. Hey, Meryl, good night to you. Meryl. Good night to you. Good night to you. We've got a caller online. Hi, good night.
Sheldon,
Yes, my dear.
I call back in.
Yeah.
You know, me have gone for the hairdressers and them barbers and them.
Yeah, it's not
you know
easy.
What? Right now, you have time that I sit down and I say, you know, God know why NNC lose the election, eh? God know why. To teach us a lesson. You understand? No. Everybody crying and bawling out. When Dr. Mitchell and his team was talking to us in every meeting and warning us, you know, they didn't take it. They get, some of them will get greedy. They will get permanent. Everybody will be permanent. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So now, I'm glad in a sense. I'm glad in a sense that they see what's going on now. It's change they want it to learn. They want it change. So you all don't complain. It's good. It's good for us. Let all of us feel it. I thought when they be rejoicing, Mary and her little lamb sisters rejoice, was only NSC alone that feel it, but everybody, NDC, everybody feeling it now. It's good for us. It's good for us. So God is teaching us a lesson. You understand? Nobody is calling out to Mr. Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell, I'm telling him, don't do that. None of them. Because they pocket full now. You see, they're getting how much big loan to do their business, to get money to build a house. That is what they put them for. So you don't worry about that now. Take what all you get. Take what all you get. Ball with all you must close. I don't want nobody to sorry for me in Grenada. I don't want nobody to sorry for me. Yeah. That's why I have to say, take it. Put it in your pipe and smoke it because we are too bad mind. When they warning us, we didn't say need. We were too greedy. You understand? God know why. But God tries to teach we Grenadians a lesson. Because I do say Dr. Mitchell is an old man. It's time for him to go. All right? So you know they. Take what are you getting under your nice young Prime Minister. Take it. Because Mitchell don't like nobody. He have a house. He has only with 24 rooms in it. 24 rooms. Take what you get. And he's talking about both people that build Grenada. Where he was, where did he day? Take what you get. Take Susu now. Have a good night.
All right, Gabby. And folks, you know, that's a question I haven't asked really. About the facility that the Prime Minister is now occupying. I don't know the size, I don't know how many rooms, etc. in it, but what I could say is that I think we need to know. Grenadians need to know, one, the reason for that move, and if the reason being put forward is that work needs to be done on the existing Prime Minister's residence. Why has that work not begun? Or has it begun, and what will it cost? Because we need to know these things. I think it's just fair that Grenadians know if work has begun on the existing Prime Minister's residence, and if that work is going on, how much is it costing, who are the contractors. We need to know this kind of information, yeah? It can't be a situation that you just take the Prime Minister, you stick him in a facility, you're paying a set of money for that facility, and we don't know. I'm hearing, in one thing I'm hearing 20,000, next I'm hearing 24, then I'm hearing 30-something, I'm hearing all kind of amount of money per month for that facility, yeah? That's what I'm hearing. But because they don't even have a press conference, and when different entities have access to them, they're not asking questions. Yeah? They're not asking, like they're afraid. And I would not like to believe that the situation when it comes to media in Grenada is that our media are afraid of our government. They wasn't afraid of the NNP. They used to ask all kinds of questions. Even personal questions they used to ask. They were not afraid then, and I don't think they should be afraid now to ask questions. And if they are, then we're in a really bad way. But when I was speaking about the NTA, and I got some information, like for instance, the first thing that the barbers who don't have a certificate that show, well, yeah, you know how to cut hair properly and so on, you're certified and so, right. So you have to get yourself certified as a barber. So you have to have a certificate to show you as a barber. You have to have a certificate from a qualified organization, not just a certificate that somebody print home and put a stamp on it and say, well, now you're a barber, but certified through either a company that's been certified through the NTA or by the NTA itself. So you need to be certified. And I'll hold on the call. Let me just explain this part. So you'll have to, first of all, pay $530. You'll have to pay $530. And then you'll have to have a self-assessment of your knowledge in relation to being a barber, right? Your skills, and so that's graded on a scale of 1 to 5. Grade 1 is deemed limited knowledge and technical skills, and so going up to 5, right? So you have to do your classrooms after that, and so, and in the classrooms, and this thing is gonna take you at least 3 to 6 months. Yet still, they're telling you have to complete this process in under 8 weeks. But the process for you to have the assessment of prior learning done through the Grenada National Training Agency can last as long as 3 to 6 months, including classroom work. Yeah, you have to actually go in a class and so, right? Because you have to prove that you understand the different textures are here, keeping your equipment clean and so on, and all the different aspects of the technical aspects of being a barber or being a hairdresser and so on. So if you cannot go to a class with an existing facility that is accredited by the NTA to train barbers and to train hairdressers and nail techs and all of these different groups of people, if you can't go to one of those, then you have to be assessed by the NTA itself for your assessment of prior learning. Some people say qualified by experience, right? Assessment of prior learning. And there are several areas that you'll have to follow in relation to that before you are accredited as a barber, and then that your business could be accredited as a facility to do that. Some members were out there asking, the people when they went to the session, they were asking, hey, if I, as the owner of the business, if I become accredited, can all the people in there automatically be accredited under? No. Yeah, so you have to find that money for each person under there. And then put a facility in the GDB and say, well, okay, we're going to give the barbers and the hairdressers and the allied healthcare professionals, the masseuse and whoever, we're going to give all of them a small loan through the GDB, because if some people could get 2 point how much million, others could get a little 5,000 and thing, isn't it? Yeah. If one could get 1.7 million, then others could get a little 5,000. You ain't hear the government coming out and say, well, okay. And there's not my idea. As a barber that was telling me that, he's saying this would be a good idea for the government to use the GDB now and say, well, okay, we're giving you up to $5,000 to get yourself certified. Because remember, you also have to get your police certificate of character. You have to get your health certificate, which means you may have to do different tests and so blood tests and different things like that. You have to get your health certificate, right? And there are other documents that you have to put together and get together and so on to present in order that your business could be accredited to operate and that you yourself could be licensed. We're talking about two different things here, you know. You have to be licensed and your business has to be accredited, right? And they're telling them they have to do all of this in 8 weeks, rushing again. That's why they rush with the pension, they overpay. Yeah? They rush with the Prime Minister car, they bounce it. Everything they're rushing with. And when they rush, they keep making fundamental mistakes. So now you come, you tell everybody you can't vend in town, but you have not sorted out the issue of where they're going to go, where they're going to vend. In some instances, have they checked to see, well, who's been vending in town for many years and therefore they have sort of seniority, you decide, well, okay, we're going to give this one a priority, we have space in the market, or you check the situation with the people to find out. It might be a case where there's a sick person at home that they are taking care of and where they're vending, that's what they're using to help. We're not saying leave them there, but we're saying, do these people get the first priority to get a space in the market? Or are these people just lumpen, first come, first serve, they throw everybody in? Or is it based on politics? Because we know, all you feel we ain't watching what's going on with those houses. All you already take back those in Karakou, you know, so that was plain what your intention with the houses. That sit on the Hill Lanes and Davids and other places. We know what the intention is. So we're saying to you all, have you given any consideration into the economic situation of the people that you're taking off the street? And again, don't go out there and say that we are against moving people off of the street. We're saying that the way that it's being rushed, the way that's being done, is like some people realize they have a short time in office. So they're rushing to do everything that they could do now. Yeah? They realize, boy, we time short. So let me rush and do everything that we could do now. Yeah? But then remember the other part of it. They have said, and I'm looking for it here, they have said that how they're going to do certain things. When? No. They're going to do those difficult things? No. They're going to do them? No. That's what they have said. Because they want to get them out of the way in case anything. Yeah? They want to get them, let me get it here, nicely there, let me get it here. So that they could get those things out of the way, so that in case anything, you know, yeah, so that you go forget. So that in a year, 2 years, they feel that you're going to forget. Not me say them.
And folks, let me just say something before I end. Some administration, they are afraid to take the tough decisions early. But we are not afraid. That is why our Prime Minister said he's going to transform Marketing Board. I understand the Lagoon Road. I understand the Lagoon Road was there to be worked on before, but they had no guts. They had no belly. I heard the Wall Street had to be, idea was being, you know, was there for the Wall Street to be transformed, but they had no guts. They have no belly. Listen, we have belly and we have guts, and we are going to take the tough decision, right? And we are going to do it early. And you know why early? Let me tell you why early, right? Because some people would not buy into it early. But if you give them chance for them to see it and for the thing to materialize, then we will get buy-in.
So you understand why the rush to do certain things. They want to get it out of the way early. But we're saying in the rush, try and consider that it's human beings you're dealing with, because the people who are always made to suffer under this NDC administration are always the poor people. The people who was already receiving a salary over $7,000, they make sure they went and they give them what? $24,000 additional a year. While the people who they said deserve $650 at least on a monthly basis, they take $150 from them. Yeah? The people who already have big businesses, they made $5 million by the reduction in the freight cost on the port. They made $5 million off of that. The poor and vulnerable people, when they go into the supermarket and they go into the stores, they have to continually pay the increasing prices on a monthly basis. So that facility was not $5 million that was given to the business sector and then passed back to you, the average Grenadian, the poor and vulnerable Grenadian. No. that $5 million stay with the business community because they did not pass on the savings back onto you, which is what the Prime Minister, in doing it, was saying that he hoped the business community would do, that they would pass the savings on to you. But they didn't do that. So at the end of the day, the only people that benefited were big business in Grenada. They are the ones that make $5 million. So they benefited. So the cabinet ministers, they benefited. They get the $2,000 additional a month, the $24,000 a year, they got that. The poor people who really need it, they can't get the $150. They take that from them. Yeah? The big businesses who have already, they save $5 million, share up between them. But the poor people had to pay the increase in prices in the supermarket and so on. Yeah? They had to pay the importers, the people who bring in these things in bulk, and they are the ones that benefit there. $5 million. It wasn't passed on to you, the average Grenadian. Yeah? And now you see them going after, they're going after the hairdressers, the barbers, all of these categories of people, where they now have to go and find that money and rush to try and get themselves licensed and then certified, or certified and then licensed, and then have their facility licensed and so on as well. Yeah, so you must have up your certificate and think, oh, they're facing significant charges, you know. 10,000 for one set of stuff and thing, 50,000 another way, 100,000. They're facing significant, if they don't go and do it, they're going to end up facing a serious situation. And the barbers and the hairdressers are out there, they just realize what's going on. We've been speaking about this thing for a couple months now, and we can't blame them. We can't blame them. But at the end of the day, we're saying, even if you want to do something like that, and they say, well, okay, because they even are telling the barbers and the hairdressers and so on now that they have to get insurance as well, you know. Yeah. So every barber and hairdresser and so on have to go and get insurance. And you know who's going to benefit number one from that? Big business again. The insurance companies go make our money here, make our money there, because the barber now have to go and find a company to insure him, to insure his occupation, right? All of this is what the barbers and the hairdressers and the people who doing the fingernail and thing, all of them have to go through that. Yeah? And we are not saying that these things are necessarily bad, but we're saying the rush to do it and the lack of any commitment to say, well, okay, let us think about how we can help these people do this. Can we give them a little facility through the GDB in the same way that how much million could be found for basically 2 people or 3, whatever, if you want to count it that way, right? In that same way, could you not find a facility under the GDB to provide small soft loans to these barbers, to these allied health professionals, whether they're a masseuse or whatever it is, whatever category they are, so that they can have themselves properly certified and licensed? Yeah? Let's go to the phone lines. Hello?
Yeah, tell the barbers and the hairdressers, go in the bank and get that money borrowed in the bank where and he get so much money he get it. Then they have to go and apply and get a loan to register your business. If they could give a minister in government $2 million, the barbers and the hairdressers go and borrow a little $5,000 and go and get your business registered. Because where I don't get money, go there. Go in the bank. Go tomorrow morning, go and see a loan officer and apply. Tell them you need that money to go and register your business. You understand? What will happen to me in Grenada? What will happen? Go there. Go and talk to the loan minister officers in the bank and ask them for like $5,000, and now you go and register your business. All the barbers and the hairdressers in Grenada who's listening to me, tomorrow morning go down in the Summer Central, go stay, ask the speak to a loan officer and tell them, if you could give Andy Williams $2 billion, you only want 5,000 to want to register your business. Have a good night, Grenada.
All right. And that's what we're saying. And I'm saying if you have a government, like for instance, if you know if the new National Party is going to do something like this, one of the things that they would have made sure is that they would have put some money into the GDP. You look at how many people would be affected by this, and you know that there are some of them that definitely would not be able to make the payments to get what has to be done, right? Especially if you put a timeline of 8 weeks. 8 weeks, that's what these people have to do this in. They realize they can't live on a salary of $7,000. They realize all of a sudden, some of them was damn well unemployed. If you check the register, when they were selected for election, it have one that put unemployed. But when they get a salary of $7,000, they realize they can't live for that. And in less than 6 weeks, they apply for $2,000 more. But yet still you're telling people now to find this kind of money to go and get themselves registered in 8 weeks. You give them till the end of June. And that's supposed to be fair. And I don't even say, well, okay, through the GDP, we're providing this facility, a soft loan for these folks. We're going to provide a soft loan through the GDP for them. They can go there and they can access up to this amount, and the repayment rate is 0.5% or 1% or whatever. We have a call online. Hello?
Sheldon, me again.
Hi.
Sheldon, this thing is very, when you're really thinking, this thing is very deep, you know. And my analysis of what happening there right now is that the government is using, and it's still campaigning, you know, Sheldon. They're still campaigning. Election over, but they're still campaigning. Because as they said, and they can't swear that he taking no for an answer. And the people and the supporters that I'm saying they have to stay there for 20 years, 4 years, 4 terms in a row, they want it to accomplish what they want to accomplish. So what happening there now is that they want the people to force the people to be on their side by using all these cheap shots they're using to get people on their side. Because what will happen there now is that when you reach to a point that a lot of them people can't reach the demand to stay into business, they go use political strategy and them now to get them like assurance that they go support the party so they could give them leniency. And if you don't want to, then you're out of business. All these things is what they're using to get people on their side to win next election. They're manipulating people all how they can. Pure manipulation are going on there. You understand? I was talking to a friend of mine. She's NDC and NMP. And she was telling me, Kit Mitchell wrong. Because this thing's supposed to be done long. It's supposed to be registered long. I think it's in place long. Oh, this is such a wrong thing. Crookedness. I said that the only thing Kit Mitchell is guilty of right now is too caring about the people. He was too caring. Because he used to leave you, they make $1. Everybody eat our food. But now, they want to force you now to do things their way to get you on their side. That's what happened. All the things they're doing there with the houses, everything is manipulation, Sheldon. They're still campaigning. And then let me tell you, the people on the sidewalk, some of them, good for them. You know why? Some of them, when you see you thinking they're passing and they're thinking they're telling about you're going to pass the thing. Careful, now. We party in power now. We party in power now. They eat with food now. They have the ton. They eat with food now. They're getting on the crowd. Let me do and tell them about you know you want to pass. You're bugging you. I think they're getting on with you. Telling you the party in power now. And if you gone and not coming back. Careful, I get it on. So there's somebody may feel the pressure now. Because see, when you're ungrateful, it can never be good with you. Ungratefulness is a cost. You understand? Kim Mitchell was too nice. You understand? Too lenient with them. That is why they vote him out. Well, also, some of them who lose from the seed program too, they vote for NDC too. They vote for NDC too, and now they lose the money, now they're complaining now. You understand? It's another thing that happened. They told against NMP and say, well, you can promise things so nice, everything gonna be so nice and done, and they fall for it. And now they seen it now. And then people want to beat me, so I'm talking about it, want to beat me. Even my mother and all talking to me because of politics, because she's NDC and NMP. We're not friends right now because of NDC and NMP. That will tell you how things bad. And now how you go be now, right now? You go into a market, you can't yourself buy nothing. You go there, your foot shaking, you make cash, your foot shaking, you know most you want to how you to go up to because you don't have the money in your purse to pay Sheldon. 10 pound white sugar used to be 19 something, now it's 27 now, it's not 10 pound white sugar right now. I think a sausage is 5 something. So that sausage is 24 cents a pound. For 2 pounds. So everything else gone bad. And when you tell them about it, you gotta get worse before you get better. That's what they say. So, let me see.
All
They
right,
told me
caller.
to be. All right.
All right, thank you. Yes, indeed. 4407377. We still have a few minutes remaining on tonight's program. Yeah, we still. Olera like that song. We have a few minutes before tonight's program is over. And folks, yeah, I had up there a while ago some of the fees that they had to pay, and that doesn't include the 530 I was talking about to the National Training Agency to get the ball rolling. I think I was talking somewhere around 1,700 for the main majority of it. You just, oh man, it's going to be so problematic because I don't see many of the barbers and the hairdressers being able to do that in a time frame that it has to be done. We have a call online. Good night.
Good night.
Hi, good night. Your live
When
caller.
I was a little boy, you had barber walking around with a grip, a suitcase. Good night.
No, we're hearing you. You go ahead. We're hearing you.
When I was a little boy, a young man, you had barber walking around with a suitcase in everybody yard and trimming. I go come back again. You don't want to open the place. You don't have the money. You don't have to salary. Just walk about with your suitcase and you're going from yard to yard.
But you see,
you're going to make enough money.
The thing is, this is regardless of if you have like a stationary location or even if you're moving around, this still applies, eh? You have to be certified to carry on trade as a barber. You will have to be certified by the end of June to carry on trade as a barber, whether in working for somebody, whether working for yourself, whether you're going and do it, you're driving about or taking bus and go and do it for people, you will still have to be certified.
Yeah, but how they could prove that you're like you're going to somebody's house and trim them or whatever?
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know how that one go work out, but that's the rule. Just letting people know.
The young lady saying that they ain't campaigning that they're giving people pressure they want to give people. They're looking for money to pay the debts. That's what they want.
All right, my brother. Thank you so very much.
Take care of yourself.
All right, thank you. Yes, indeed. Yeah, and folks, hey, remember, to donate. Yeah, see somebody forget this thing, Go to the page, it's there, it's on the YouTube, it's on the Facebook. Go and donate. Yeah? Right. And we need to get up to 100 likes tonight on both YouTube and Facebook. So if you have not done it yet, hit the like button on both YouTube. Those of you on YouTube, those of you on Facebook, hit the like button. We have a call online. Good night. Hi, good night.
How going on?
I'm quite fine. Go right ahead. You're
Yeah,
live.
boss. But I think this party should resign, This prime minister should resign and leave Grenada people alone. This man is just. I don't know why they hate Grenadian like that. You understand? I don't know why they hate Grenadian like that. Why? Why they hate the poor people like that? Everything is a rush. The bill is a rush. This one is a rush. This one is a rush. Tell that man he have belly. But if he has a belly, tell him come and tell the Grenadian people how much money he get. That I want to know. All right?
All right, brother.
Take care, man.
And the caller is right. If you have belly and you have guts, come and tell the Grenadian people how much money you got from the GDB. And we know you know how to find the people in GBN. And I have no problem with GBN, and I'm just calling it as I see it. Right? Tell the Grenadian people, tell them how much you get. You have belly, you have guts. It's always the poor people that pay in the cost in here. We have a caller online. Hello, good night.
Hey, good night, Mr. Sheldon Scott.
Hi, how are you doing, sir?
I'm okay.
Okay, go right ahead. You're live.
What's really bothering me is that...
Oh, but your voice has just gone right down. Your voice has just gone right down. Okay, good now. Go ahead.
Yeah, one of the criteria in which, in this process, a registration and so on, is that you have to get a police record.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's true.
Yes, it is.
But I find that nonsense.
Your voice keep going and coming. I don't know if you're using a Bluetooth device or something like that, but your voice keep dropping on us.
No?
Barely. Hello?
Oh,
O-
okay,
Okay,
yes,
you're
I'm
good.
here.
You're good there. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so what I was saying is that they're saying that you have to get a police record, which I think is nonsense. If someone goes to prison and they do their time, they reform themselves. Why do you need a police record in order to become a barber? You know, so what? If you don't produce the police record, so you can't do barbering? I don't understand that aspect of it.
My brother,
I mean, there's a
not
lot of
only
things I
that, you
don't
know,
understand, but
not only that,
this
you
in
know,
particular.
here another part of it. If you have an active case, you have to let them know as well if you have any case in the court. Yeah, outside of the
These
police
people bringing
record.
hardship. These people bringing hardship on the people. I mean, there are so much things, and they bring in a first world document in a third world country without no they haven't adjusted it. They haven't looked it over. They haven't adjusted it to suit a third world country, and they're just trying to shove it down our throats. Because I'm a barber, and I think it's ridiculous. Certain aspects of it where they could shut you down if a client makes a complaint. I mean, what is there for the barbers in order to defend themselves? If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's nothing, you know, there's a lot of things wrong with this document. And apparently they haven't looked it over carefully and they're just trying to put it on people, you know? And it's they're taking advantage of people, man. That's real crap.
All right.
Sorry to say. It's real.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, sir.
All right, my brother. Thank you so very much for your call. All right.
No problem.
All right, folks. And it is 10 o'clock. As usual, you know, I got to get out of here. It's been wonderful being here with you. And in everything you say and do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. Love you all tremendously. All right, so we'll be back tomorrow night, God's willing, with more talking points for you from 8 p.m. on the dot. All right? Yeah. And we have a lot of things to say because certain things I'll leave it off tonight. Yeah, but we ain't leaving it off tomorrow night. So we're going to say it tomorrow night. My name is Sheldon Scott. I am out of here. Let me pull up the big tune for all you, man. Let me pull up that big tune there for all you again. Yeah. Let me make sure I had the tune there. Nice.
So much people complaining about the government. I wonder why they complaining when it's only 1 year they spent. They come in and complain to me, which I find strange, because the election victory, majority voted for change. So then I start to wonder, what is some of them seen? Why complain to this fella when they know my color is green? It seems like they don't have patience. That's the reason why. Or something pricking the conscience. They just cannot satisfy. Don't blame me. Don't complain to me. Why complain to me? Change you wanted to see. Oh, don't blame me. Don't complain to me. Why complain to me? Change you wanted to see. 13 years we in power. You was in opposition. You won with your propaganda. I really thought you had a plan. You appeal to them old people.